abusive.
Okay, now to Britney Spears, who is pleading with a judge today to end her court-ordered conservatorship, which she calls, and I quote here, abusive, telling the judge, again, I quote, "I just want my life back." More on this story now from CNN's Stephanie Elam.
Britney Spears is angry. She wants her life back, and she wants the world to know it. Speaking remotely to a Los Angeles County courtroom, the pop singer saying her wish and dream is for the conservatorship to end, a legal arrangement she's been living with for nearly 13 years. In the status hearing, Spears expressing frustration over the lack of control of her own life, saying, quote, "I'm traumatized. I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I'm so angry, it's insane." Even adding she wants to marry and have another child, both major life moments she says the current conservatorship doesn't allow. Her father's only response to the artist's stinging criticisms was that he loves and misses her. The trouble for Britney Spears began in 2007, her girl next door image unraveling in front of the paparazzi who were always chasing her, capturing her every move, especially the uncomfortable moments in the singer's personal life. The following year, multiple health and psychiatric issues landed Spears in the hospital in January. Her father, Jamie Spears, filed a petition with the Los Angeles County Superior Court that February to place her under a temporary probate conservatorship. Jamie Spears and attorney Andrew Wallet becoming permanent co-conservators of Britney's estimated $60 million estate in October 2008. Her father getting control of her medical care, something Spears spoke emotionally about, saying, quote, "I want to be able to get married and have a baby. I was told I can't get married. I have an IUD inside me, but this so-called team won't let me go to the doctor to remove it because they don't want me to have any more children. This conservatorship is doing me way more harm than good."
Usually, most conservatorships in probate court are for the elderly, people that have exhibited memory deficits or judgment deficits that are pervasive and most likely going to endure for the rest of their lives.
But through all this, Britney Spears kept working while under this conservatorship, releasing several albums, 2 that went platinum.
What's up, Vegas?
Holding down her Pieces of Me Las Vegas residency, reportedly earning her $30 million, and serving as a judge on The X Factor.
Well, she did lose custody of both her children. I don't think she would have been allowed to have more. No, yes, you're right. When you lose custody of your children, you should be sterilized forcibly. That's a very good and very humane take from the chatter. Yeah, there's no way to like I don't know, get better or treat someone who has like mental health problems and then, you know, give them freedom. Once you have mental health issues or complications and like you may lose your custody over your children as a consequence of that, then you know, it's time to sterilize you. Sorry. That's a fun fact. That's actually what Nazis believed. So, and also American fascists. So you're not super far off from, you know, that mentality. Very cool.
Attorney Andrew Wallet resigned in the spring of 2019, leaving Spears' father in control of just about every aspect of Britney's life. But last summer, Britney pushed back. In legal documents, her court-appointed lawyer stating Britney is, quote, strongly opposed to having her father as conservator and requested that Jamie be removed. Instead, a judge in November added Bessemer Trust, a private wealth and investment management firm, as a co-conservator to oversee her estate. Now Spears wants to pick her own lawyer, and as she said in court, quote, "I just want my life back." Stephanie Elam, CNN, Los Angeles.
So joining me now to discuss, Samantha Stark is here. Samantha is the director of the documentary Framing Britney Spears. I love the doc, by the way, Samantha. It was really, really great. So thank you for that. And CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson, a criminal defense attorney.
Britney Spears, a multimillionaire. Why the fuck do we care about this? Why do you care about legalized slavery because someone is a multimillionaire who literally does not even have access to the funds that she's generating, whose funds are like actually facilitating her own legalized slavery? That's very cool. Some of you guys are fucking morons. You are a baboon. You have a baboon brain. You see rich and you immediately see red. And you think to yourself, human rights abuses, like literal slavery, are acceptable if they're generating a lot of money. even if that money that they're generating isn't directly, funding their lifestyle, but instead straight up directly funding their slavery, further slavery, and also, being caged. It's like looking at the prison industrial complex and saying, why do we care about prisoners? I mean, ultimately, their labor is funding a massive multi-billion-dollar industry. They should keep being enslaved. It's captivity and slavery.
Hey, Joey, always a pleasure to have you on. Good to see you as well. Joey, so Britney Spears wants to end her conservatorship. She has been under it for nearly 13 years. She doesn't want to have a clear, she doesn't want to have a clear health evaluation. She's 39 years old. She's incredibly successful. Will it happen? What's going to happen?
So it could, Don. Good evening to you. So what happens is we obviously know that she's had her share of issues, right? She had some mental health problems. A lot of people do. That is a thing. And so unfortunately with that and some alleged drug use or what have you, about 13 years ago, her father thought it was appropriate to act as her guardian. A lot of things at stake, a lot of assets at stake, a lot of decisions to be made, and a lot of predators, quite frankly, as it relates to all of her monies and all of her income. And so there was this conservatorship, and I think at that time, perhaps for very good reason, and that's continued over the course of the years to guide her, to look over her, to ensure that things are as they should be. But now as she apparently gets better, she's in court, indicating that she's competent, she's able, she's responsible, and that she wants back in. And so, look, we live in a society where all of us should be able to tend to our affairs if we're competent and able to do so, and the argument she's making is that she is. And so,
Mods, you can ban people who keep saying, is this worth our attention? Like, yeah, it is. I declare it worthy of attention. I sit around and literally watch, like, architectural digest videos and shit. Suck my fucking cock, you pathetic fucking stupid loser. I'm gonna run my show the way I want to run it. If you don't like it, you can get the fuck out, okay? You can see yourself out of this fucking community, out of this chat, or you can shut the fuck up because I just took away your free speech rights in the chat, okay? And shut the fuck up and watch. Some of you don't deserve a say in this process. Some of you don't deserve a say in this community until you know how to fucking behave. Sorry, it is what it is. You behave like an animal, I'm going to treat you like a fucking animal.
So to your question, in the event that she can demonstrate to a court's satisfaction after psychiatric and other evaluations happen that she should be in place and that everyone else should be removed, I think that's exactly what should happen. We're a ways from that, but I think certainly that's what the movement is that she would like to see moving forward.
So Samantha, Britney Spears didn't hold back today. She talked about not being able to get married or have a baby. She said that her so-called team won't let her get off birth control. I mean, you really opened a lot of people's eyes to what she is going through in your documentary. Are you surprised by what we learned today?
I'm absolutely not surprised because we knew most of it from our investigation that we published yesterday about how Britney has been wanting to get out of this for so long. I also have to disagree with my fellow panelists' position that, I think a lot of people assume just say, oh, she needed it, like this, it really helped her, it saved her life. But now is a different story. This woman was guest starring on national TV, releasing an album and doing an international tour of 100 shows within 1 year of being put in this conservatorship. And that's part of what she was expressing. She said, I know that I can provide for myself. I'm bringing in all the money and I'm also paying all of you, to the lawyers and to all the people around her. She said she felt forced into a mental health facility and forced to perform. She said she would be retaliated against with visits from her kids and visits from her boyfriend taken away if she didn't agree to these performances and tours that she felt too tired to do. She didn't want to do it anymore. And forcing somebody to work and forcing someone into a mental health facility. And she said, they forced me to take lithium, which I had never taken before. This is in 2019. She said that. And, she also said to the judge, she said, I told you all of this 2 years ago in 2019 and it felt like you didn't listen to me. I felt like I was dead. I felt like I didn't matter. And those are strong words for a strong situation. I mean, this woman is was completely cognizant and had so many points about how she was taken advantage of. She also said she was abused.
So, Donna,
Joey, I'm out of time. I literally have five seconds left, if that much. So what's next? What is next?
What's next is I think she has to demonstrate she's competent and able. And remember, at the end of the day, we have to be about facts. I'm not here as a Britney Spears fan or someone who's saying she's abused.
You're a legal
she's not
analyst.
abused.
That's why you're here.
At the end of the day, right, it's up to whether she's competent. Apparently, that indication was made she wasn't. A judge agreed. There's a lot that's sealed that we don't know. And so we can't take one side or the other. I would caution we have to be objective in our evaluation. Many of those documents are sealed. We don't know what we don't know. What we do know is a judge felt it was appropriate to keep in place. A judge will make the assessment moving forward as to whether or not it will be removed. That'll be up to her and whether she's competent and able.
I want to bring in now CNN legal analyst Ariva Martin, a civil rights attorney. Ariva, I'm so glad you're here. Let's get to it. Thank you so much. Britney Spears has lived under this conservatorship since 2008. Most arrangements like this are for elderly people or mentally disabled people. She's released several albums during this time. She's had her Vegas residency.
What I fail to understand is, like, how are you not competent enough to take care of yourself, but you're competent enough to be able to put out 2 fucking platinum albums and, like, do a Vegas tour? Like, that, it doesn't make any sense that, like, she's competent enough to keep making money so that the conservatorship could continue and her family could fucking eat. But, you know, she's not competent enough to take care of her own, self. It's wild. Like, and that a judge continued it. It's so strange.
How unusual is an arrangement like this for a successful 39-year-old woman?
Hello, Don. Good to see you. And you are right. This is incredibly unusual. And I think Britney put it best when she said it's abusive. When you think...
Why do conservatorships exist? It's for people with dementia and Alzheimer's and shit like that. It's for older patients that, unironically, cannot take care of themselves at all. It is to help people who cannot take care of themselves to like appropriate their finances to ensure that they can survive, they can continue living. Okay, that's it. That's what it is. Or minors without parents, yeah, like people who just do not have the capability of taking care of themselves. It makes sense. Like I don't have a problem with conservatorships in general. Okay, I don't think that they should like completely cease to exist, because there are people who, if they may have some funds and left to their own devices, like they literally cannot survive. Should they die? Should they be euthanized? Like, what are they supposed to do? What happens to people who cannot take care of themselves? Okay.
Think of conservatorship, you usually think of someone in their 80s or their 90s who has suffered from dementia or Alzheimer's, and they're no longer to make, decisions about their finances or their health. They are mentally incapacitated. Britney Spears is none of that. As you just, appropriately stated, this woman has been working, and not just working a 9-to-5 job. She's been performing at the highest level. She was a judge for 1 year on a national competition show. She's toured the
Come on, Maz, that one was literally Groyper 678
world, giving concerts. And so when you think about who is incapacitated, her picture should be nowhere near the definition of being mentally incapacitated. So it's really bothersome to me as a lawyer that the court system has allowed this conservatorship to go on for as long as it has. But, I applaud her for her bravery, her courage to speak up for herself and to advocate for herself, and not just herself. Britney is a mother of 2 kids, and she wants to have another child. She says she wants to get married, and she is forced to wear an IUD. So even decisions about her own reproductive rights have been deprived. She's been deprived of those rights, and I cannot think of any legal reason why this conservatorship is still in place.
And she feeds a lot of mouths and runs companies, right? There are a lot of people who depend on Britney Spears' success. Confidential court records obtained by the New York Times reveal that Britney Spears has been pushing to end her conservatorship for years now, even as early as 2014. She wanted to explore removing her father as a conservator. Why has this gone on for so long?
That's the million-dollar question, Don. Why has this gone on so long? Why has the court allowed it? And why has Britney's father? Think about this. This is her biological father. You would think that in the interest of a father-daughter relationship, he would voluntarily end this relationship. But you stated, again, appropriately, that a lot of mouths are being fed. These conservatorships are incredibly expensive to run. There are lots of people who are getting paid, who profit from Britney Spears' talent, from her labor. And the fact that it has gone on so long is really abhorrent. It speaks really poorly of our court system. And I'm hopeful that today marks the beginning of what will soon be the end of this conservatorship.
Areva, it's always good to see you. We'll continue to report on this story and we'll have you back. Thank you very much.